Welcome to this video, guys. In this video, we're going to see how superadmin will create the role access. In previous video, we have already seen how superadmin created the resources. In similar fashion, in role access also created by superadmin only because we are giving only permissions to superadmin to create the role access. Okay, so this is the you can say API. Okay, this is the route role access. This is the post request again. Have the body role is superadmin, resources is all, which is meaning we are giving access to all of the entities which we have in our application. And actions, of course, create, read, update, delete. I mean, all actions he can do. He can create, read, update, delete. All actions he can do. So this is the role access we want to give to the superadmin. Okay. So let me walk you through the code first, and then we will execute and see. Okay, we already know server is running. Okay, the server is directly connected to this application. Okay, in the application we have given all the routes. Okay, it is like a midpoint, you can say intersection points of all routes. Okay, if you see here, there is a role access. Okay, in the role access route, if I click here, okay, I came to role access route. First, if you see, we are first doing what? Authentication. Okay, it doesn't matter he is the super admin, he is the manager, he is the user, whatever the user, it should be authenticated. That means the person who is entering, it should be in our system, it should not be the outsider. Okay, so first is the authentication. The second one is the authorization. We are checking here, if you see the authorization super admin. So what we are doing, we are authorizing. Okay, only super admin have access to create the role access, right? So this is the post which is indicating the creation, so we are checking authorization. And then we're doing the validate. Okay, so validation is so input validation. Okay, sometimes some guys will do input validation first and then they will do the authentication. That's fine, wherever you create, but you must have these three things: authentication, authorization, and validation. If the three middleways are passed, okay, then we're going to the create role access function. Okay, so now we came to the controller. Okay, now what controller will do? Controller simply call the service with the request body. Okay, in the service is the one where we actually do the business logic. Okay, so first what we have done, we have normalized the resource. Okay, I make it the uppercase and trimmed it. Why? Because let's suppose say we have generated an API. Okay, so this API is application programming interface, which is meaning that any application can integrate this API, right? Let's suppose we have created a front end. Okay, we will integrate, or we can give the export this API, others can integrate. They can integrate in mobile, they can integrate in web application, in third party application also we can give your API. Okay, so because of that, what is the main thing is that you should not trust the input which is coming for your API. You have to do the input validation. If a record, you have to do sanity like this. Okay, so that's why. Then next, coming to this one, resource. Okay, so first we have to check the resources existed or not. If resource is not existed, then we cannot give the role access. That's it, right? So if resource is not there, to whom you will give the access? So a resource must be existed. Okay, so we have to check that condition. If the resource is not existed, you simply say resources does not existed. Okay, that is this condition is telling that. Okay, let's suppose say that condition also passed. Then we have to check this existing condition. What it is indicating that we have a role and we have a resource. We have already given access to this roles for the particular resource, but still again you have to make another request for the same resource for the same role. That means you are creating the duplicates, right? So to avoid the duplicate strictly, we have added this condition. So we will check this particular role have access to this particular resource or not. If already have, then we don't need to create. You just say this role access for this resource is already existed. Okay, if that case also passed, then what we will do, we will simply create a role access based upon this role and resources, what are the actions they can do. Okay, I think you understand the concept. Let me walk you through the practical. Okay, so here I am running my code. Okay, in JavaScript debug terminal, I kept the breakpoints so that you can see the flow clearly. Okay, let me go to my API. So this is the role access API. I already logged in. Okay, if you're not logged in, you just click the super admin login. Okay, you just click this one. Okay, if you see, it first came to the this one authorization part. First it will do the authentication and then it will do the authorization as well. I didn't kept for validation, but you have to do. Okay, now came to the controller, and controller hand over to the service. Now see here, we just normalized. So we got the resource name as all. Now we are checking this resources is already existed or not. Okay, resources existed, that's why it's not went to this condition. Okay, now we will check in the duplicate access. Okay, now this duplicate access also not there, so this is the fresh access. So we are creating the record. Okay, once we created the record, we will give the status code to 201 because we consider it as a resource. Once the resource is created in HTTP standards, we will give the 201 as a status code. So role access created successfully. Okay, if you see the response, success is true, role access created, status code is 201. Okay, the role is superadmin, resources all, we have all these actions. Okay, let me show you that in database also. This is my parking lot database, and this is the role access collection. Let me just refresh. You see superadmin, the role is created as superadmin, this is the resource, and these are all actions. Okay, okay, now let me try the other two conditions which we have in the service business logic. That is, we are going to give, okay, same role access at twice, second time. I mean, I am trying to create a duplicate. Okay, again we're going to the authentication and authorization, come to the controller. Now see, we came to the service. Okay, and now we're checking the resource again. Okay, resource is already existed, now we're checking this duplicate condition. Okay, here now see, now the duplicate is existed. I mean, for this resource, for this role, we already given access, but still I'm want to create one more time. So that's why. So now if you see, it is a conflict, 409 conflict, which means role access for this resource is already existed. Okay, now check the third case, which the resource is not there, but I want to give access to the resource which is not there. Okay, yeah, these things will happen in real time. That's why in backend we should not trust the front end, so we should have all kinds of checks, all kinds of checks, not only input. We have to check the business logic, functional logic, everything. So we have to check this one as well. Let's check this one. I'm sending the request again, it's to the authentication and authorization. Okay, come to the controller. Now come to the business logic. Okay, service. Okay, let me close this one. Now you can see better. Okay, now, okay, now I'm checking the resource all 4, but resource all 4 is not there with me, but I'm trying to give access to that one. So resource is not there, so what I'm doing, okay, 4 not 4, so resource is not found. Okay, you see, 4 not 4 not found. Okay, the resource all 4 does not exist. Okay, if you want, you can create and add. So this is about, we are giving admin giving the role access. Okay, we have seen for one. Okay, and next video we're going to see all other access what admin will do. Thank you. Sorry, super admin actually.